Every time I get paid, I like to do the same few things to keep myself consistent with my payday routine. And this is definitely not because I'm obsessed with money, and it's not because I'm trying to be perfect with money. I'm just trying to pretty much make it by. But the reason I'm doing this is because I got tired of that same cycle, and you probably know exactly what cycle I'm talking about, so let me know if this sounds like you or sounds like someone you know. Look, payday's gonna hit, right? We're gonna feel good. We're gonna feel good for a day or two. We're gonna check our bank account. Got a little bit more money than usual. Maybe we got a couple $1,000s in there, maybe $500. You treat yourself because hey, you just got paid. And then your bills come out, right? You gotta pay your credit cards, you gotta pay the mortgage, you gotta pay the rent. Life happens, you blow a tire, spending creeps in without you really noticing from subscriptions or whatever it might be. And then before you know it, you're back to just waiting on the next paycheck and you're like, wow, I'm actually broke. Like, where'd my money go? And that cycle, in my opinion, is just super exhausting. And what took me way too long to realize is that payday should not just be a moment of relief for people. Payday should be your, moment to gain control and get yourself closer to your financial freedom and closer to building that financial foundation that we all need to survive. So this video is not some guru routine or a perfect system. I'm not going to give you guys some math equation to build out the perfect payday routine. I'm not claiming that this is the best way or the only way to do things. This is just what I personally have used and what I plan to use in 2026 every payday to stay organized, reduce stress, and actually make progress with my money. So take what helps, ignore what doesn't, and let me know in the comments down below what you do for your payday routine. But let's get into the video. So first thing I want to talk about is how life actually works. And what I mean by that is before I walk through any of these steps, I want to be honest because a lot of money advice skips this part. Most people already know what they're supposed to do with money. The likelihood that you clicked on this video and you are brand new to money is probably pretty low, but if you are new, welcome. But if you're not, you probably know that you should save more money, you should invest more money, you should pay down your debt, and you should plan for the future. Those four things are pretty much like the golden rules when it comes to finances. And the truth is that information's everywhere. The problem is not lack of knowledge. We all have that knowledge. The problem is that real life is just expensive. It's hard to save money. It's hard to invest. It's hard to pay down debt. Rent is high. Groceries cost more than they used to. Insurance has gone up. Random expenses not only show up when you least expect them, but have just gotten more expensive. And for a lot of people, there isn't some massive cushion at the end of every month. So this routine isn't about building around this ideal circumstance that you might have. It's about building around your actual reality, the reality that we all live in. And this is a reality where the truth is stability needs to come first. We need to support our families. We need to put food on the table. We need to be smart with our money, and we can't take uncalculated, unnecessary risks. So step one to this payday routine is paying your bills first. That's step one. And the very first thing that I do when I get paid is I pay my bills. And not because it's exciting to pay your bills, but because it instantly lowers your stress when it comes to your finances. Now, your bills are anything that has to be paid and has to get handled first during the month. So this can be your rent and mortgage, this can be your car payment, your credit cards, your student loans, your utilities, your groceries, and you're smart enough to know exactly what necessities are when it comes to your monthly expenses. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, when they tell you about a payday routine, usually the most popular thing to say is pay yourself first, or at least that's a lot of popular advice on the internet right now. And I'm even on record telling people to pay themselves first. But the problem is paying yourself first only works in a very, very small circumstance. And when people say pay yourself first, like if you're new to this, you've never heard it, what they usually mean is before you spend your money on anything else. So before you pay off your bills, before you spend your money for fun, before you enjoy your life, you immediately move a portion of your paycheck into a savings or investing account. And the idea is that if you don't see the money, you're not going to spend it. And over time, that's going to force you to progress with your finances. And honestly, in a perfect world, if you're in the perfect situation, this advice works very well. When I was living with my parents, this was the advice I followed, and it worked really well for me. But here's where it starts to fall apart for a lot of people. If you're still building stability, if you're juggling rent, debt, inconsistent expenses, and you're already cutting those things close, paying yourself first can actually backfire because now you've invested money that you potentially need to use for your necessities. So you're investing money, but you're still stressed about bills and you're checking your account constantly, and you're one unexpected expense away from pulling that money right back out of the savings or right back out of the investment account. And when that happens, it doesn't feel empowering and it actually makes you feel like you're failing a little bit. So that's why paying yourself first might not be the best thing to do, even though I understand the logic behind it. But the truth is this: if you're still building, unpaid bills create way more stress than missing one investment contribution. So for me, covering my obligation first creates that baseline of safety. And once I know my essentials are handled, at that point I can relax and I can move on to the next step once I've paid off my bills. And that leads us into step 2, where step 2 is I like to review my numbers even when I don't feel like it. So after my bills are handled and my necessities are paid off for the month, I like to look at my numbers. And this is nothing complicated. It's literally just a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet where I can see how much money is actually hitting my account, where my money is going, and what I realistically have to work with. And for this, I focus strictly on take-home pay, not my gross salary. So if you make $100K a year, but you only take home $80K, focus on that $80K. Don't focus on the $100K, because the money that actually lands in your account is the only number, in my opinion, that matters day to day, because that's what we're working with. So this step used to feel very annoying, and even, let's be honest, sometimes it still does feel annoying, and I used to avoid it. But now it's probably one of the best things I can do and implement for my routine, because when you see your money clearly, it stops feeling mysterious like, where's my money going? I get paid and it's gone, because now I'm tracking my numbers. So you're no longer wondering where it went. You're no longer standing there, crying to yourself like, oh, I'm broke now, because you're no longer guessing. You know exactly what's coming in and what's going out. And not only what's going out, but where it's leaving your account to. And you can start building those trends. And you can start seeing, okay, my money's leaving here or here. Now I know how to fix it, because most money problems aren't spending problems. They're just awareness problems. People genuinely have no idea where there's money going. So if you can fix the awareness problem, a lot of things will start to fall in place. And that leads us into step number 3, where after, bills are covered and I understand my numbers, at this point I like to invest. And this is not aggressive investing. This isn't meme coin investing. This is just consistent, easy, safe investing. I choose an amount that feels realistic, something I won't need to pull back out later. And that's what I recommend for all of you guys, right? I'm always a huge supporter of investing small amounts of money, because at the end of the day, the money we invest, we don't want to touch. So if you say, oh, I can invest $1,000 a week, but you're going to be pushed to pull that money out, then don't invest that. But if you know that you can invest $20 a week and you'll never have to touch it, that's your golden number. And then once I know the number that I want to invest, boom, I invest it immediately. So usually this will go into an investment account that's out of sight and out of mind, because that money is untouchable. This is not emergency fund money. This is not spending money. This is future money for my future self, so my future self doesn't have to stress. So even if it's $50 a month, even if it's $100 a month, whatever you can invest and not have to pull out later, that's what I'd recommend investing. And the habit matters way more than the amount of money you actually invest. Because look, at the end of the day, at least for me, investing will never be about hitting home runs. It's just about showing up every single day, every single week, every single month, getting my money invested so it works for me while I'm sleeping, it grows for me while I'm working, and I can just build that financial foundation. So consistency when it comes to investing will do all the heavy lifting for you. And step number 4 is I like to save for something specific and or attack debt. So after investing, I like to give my money a job. So this means saving for something tangible. This can be a car, this can be a trip, this can be a down payment on a house, whatever it might be. Or it might mean paying extra towards your debt principal on your auto loan or your student loans or your credit cards, whatever it might be. And what matters isn't the category, it's the purpose. When your savings account is very vague, it's very easy to steal from. So if I have $10,000 in a savings account that just has no meaning to me, it's easy to pull out of that. Or if I say I'm going to save $20,000 with no goal in mind, it's easy to step away from it. But when it's tied to real goals, it actually sticks. And the same thing with debt. Progress feels way better when you actually see those balances move down. This step right here, step number 4, is going to build a lot of the momentum you need to truly start getting yourself on track with your financial foundation. And it reminds you that your money isn't just disappearing, right? I'm not just saving my money and it's just gone. I'm saving it because it's actively improving my future, or it's going to a long-term goal that I have set in my mind. And the last step here, step number 5, is I like to set aside guilt-free spending money. And this step is extremely important and a lot of people skip it. But whatever money is left after priorities are handled, that money is going to become guilt-free spending. So after I pay my bills, after I look at my numbers, after I invest, after I save or pay off debt, the rest of the money is guilt-free spending. This means I can go out, I can spend it, I can dine out, I can buy something, and I can enjoy my life because I don't want to feel bad about it. And the truth is, the more you get into your financial journey, like I've noticed, the more I get into my finances, the less I actually like spending money. And while that's kind of a good thing, it can create this burnout where it's like I can't even enjoy nice things because I'm too worried about the financial hit that I'm taking. And if you don't allow enjoyment in life, your system's going to fall apart and you're going to end up overspending later because you want the pleasure of it, you want the dopamine hit, and it's going to, break down the whole plan that you have set in place. So having a controlled, intentional, fun category with your money keeps everything sustainable because you're not limiting your lifestyle too much. And if I don't use all of that fun spending money, well, that's a win at that point, right? So if I set aside $200 a month and I only spend 50 of it, well, I can roll that 150 into savings or into investings or into paying off debt without feeling restrictive. So high level, those are the 5 steps that I like to follow when it comes to my payday routine. But what if I'm doing my payday routine and then there's nothing left after bills? And this is where a lot of people feel stuck. But I want to be clear, if you pay off your bills and then there's nothing left, that doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean you're behind. It just means if there's little to nothing left, the answer usually is not about budgeting harder. You can only cut so much before your quality of life starts to suffer. So at that point, the lever that matters the most is your take-home income. And I'm not telling you guys to go out there, start hustling people, start selling online courses, or start burning yourself out with like 3 jobs. It's just a strategic upgrade because here's the secret. The best time to look for better income opportunities is while you're currently employed, right? If you're employed, you're not desperate, you have leverage, and you can be selective. And sometimes the biggest payday routine improvement isn't inside your actual spreadsheet or your budget. It's outside of it. So if you're currently employed and you're not happy with your income, that is the best time to start looking for other income opportunities. And look, I know it's hard. It's not easy to find a new job, but if you're employed, that's the best time to actually do it. And the last thing I want to, recommend to you guys as a little tip is find the one category that's quietly killing your finances. Almost everyone, rich or poor, overspends heavily in one area. Look, for me, accountability-wise, it's dining out. I spend way too much money dining out. But for you, it might be shopping. It might be subscriptions. It might be travel. It might be convenience. When you write your spending down, that trend of what category it is becomes very obvious. When I look at my spending, I know damn, I'm eating out way too much, right? And once you see it, you don't need to cut everything. You just need to fix that one real problem. And this is where most people kind of had that light bulb moment with their finances because most of the gains you'll see don't come from extreme budgeting. It comes from targeting that one category leak that's holding everything back. When I target my spending on dining out, everything gets easier, right? So if you know there's one category that's just draining your finances, attack that this year. That's the one category that you want to focus on when it comes to getting in control of your finances. So those 5 steps make up my paycheck routine that I'm using in 2026 and that I used at the end of 2025 that really helped me get in control of my finances. And those last 2 tips of, increasing your income and finding that one category that's killing you, that can really benefit you in a lot of different ways. The main thing I want to leave you guys with is this routine is not about being perfect. It's just about control of your finances. We always want to pay our bills first so life feels stable. Then we know our numbers. Then we invest so we move our future forward. Then we save or pay off debt so our progress is visible. And then we enjoy so the system can actually last and we don't feel too restrictive on ourselves, because once again, we still want to enjoy life. We're only here once. And when you can do this consistently, payday stops being this temporary high and starts becoming a step forward every single week or every bye week. So at the end of the day, look, we're never going to do anything perfect with our finances. It's impossible. But if we can implement certain steps slowly or certain tips slowly, everything's going to become a lot easier. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below what paycheck routine you follow, or if you follow a paycheck routine similar to this. Like I said, I like paying my bills first. I think that's the best thing to do, but let me know if you pay yourself first. I would love to know in the comments down below. But I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a great day. See ya.